Hey, you should have seen Ron's face. Like, hey, I know those sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Ron McLean is the president of the Cape Fear Amateur Radio Society, and you've got a big to-do coming on this weekend. And we were going to talk about it last week, but we decided that we couldn't make it. Well, but it's good to have you here. And both Kenny and I are wearing our Army-related attire. He has a hat just because he supports the Army.
Yes, sir.
That you picked up from, where'd you pick that up?
When you took me up to the post, you know.
Yeah.
And
oh, that's right. We were in the PX area.
Yes, at the PX. And because you said, I said, man, I'd love a hat. And you said something like, well, go get you one. I said, I can't wear a hat. And then the guy says, hey, they're available on Amazon, but I'm glad you bought it here. So I'm proud to support the U.S. Army. For some reason, since I wear this sometimes out, I'm thanked for my service, and I can either graciously ignore it and say thank you, or sometimes I'll say, well, actually, I didn't serve, and I suggest a trip up to the post. So carry on with radio.
Well, no, you have to say that every time. If not, it's stolen valor.
Okay.
If you didn't serve, then don't act like you served.
I don't act.
But if you support, then you can act like you support. I wear this hat because I support. So
yes, sir.
I wear my hat because I was in 327 Signal, and my NCO, my platoon sergeant at the time, Sergeant Harris, got it for me. So isn't that a neat story? You said that's a nice hat. You like that?
Absolutely, yeah. Although I was 426 Signal Battalion.
That's right. See, 426. I was in 426 Delta Company at one time as well. Well, look, that's not why we're here. But because we're here, you're the president of the Cape Fear Amateur Radio Society. You got an event that's going on the 27th, and we were supposed to have you in last week. But for you weren't able to make it. But now I'm glad we were able to get you in here, Rod, to talk about it. Tell everybody what's going on the 27th.
This is our Super Bowl, if you will, for radio operations. It's the ARRL Field Day of 2026, and it's held every year. And all the operators in the U.S. and overseas get together to try to contact each other over the course of the weekend. And we'll be communicating from 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon till 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
Now, Kenny played a little radio type thing where you heard some what sound like Morse code or whatever and stuff like that. And so how are people going to be communicating over the weekend on the 27th? And where will you be located?
We're going to be located at the 1st of the 18th Special Forces compound at 1509 Zinnia Avenue, which is just off Old Wilmington Road. So it's fairly close. It's close to Fayetteville, very easy to get to.
And that's not any place on post. You don't need anything in order to get to this.
It's open to the for the weekend. It will be open to the public, and they're open to the public on other various other occasions too. But when we're down there doing our radio stuff, it's open to the public, and the public are more than welcome to come and join us.
Talk about the significance of the Amateur Radio Society and why these radios are still important in this day of age where we got cell phones.
Well, the whole purpose of the exercise Field Day 2026, as I said, it's an annual operation, is to go out into the public domain, set up our radios, operate without having all the bits and pieces that you have at home. So we can set up our complete site with, we're going to be operating 5 radios, at least 5 radios, and we can set that up in 4 hours and be communicating across or around the world. We do it also on a weekend basis, where we go to parks on the air, where each operator just goes out to a park, sets his radio up, and talks to everybody, and mostly in the United States, but we talk to people in Europe as well.
You know, Kenny, you were involved with this
very
to
much.
A certain extent. Are you still licensed, or how's it work?
Well, actually, Rod's going to help me get my license back. I let it relinquish when I went to the dark side. I was one of the youngest ham operators that ever got a general class right below the advanced class at 14 years old. I'm not bragging about me. It's just that my uncle did good. In West Virginia, he said, David, my middle name, I'm going to send you a ham radio. Let's do it. So I built my own transceiver with Heathkit, and I learned stuff, and I got involved. And then I let my license expire. It's good for 5 years. And so, Rod, we just exchanged phone numbers, and he's going to help me out. I do know also my aspect and what I know about something is that basically Field Day, the way I see it in my eyes, they are emergency responders, ham radio. And what this is really designed for, Gilbert, and Rod, am I right about this? That basically when the S hits the fan, if it does, radio signals, cell phones pretty much will not operate. And the ARRL and Field Day is to show what you can do, but also to keep you ready and keep your chops ready if it does, to where you can go anywhere out in your backyard, up to where you're going this Saturday, wherever, with your little tiny pieces of equipment, yet still communicate the needed vital information in a time of disaster.
Well,
is that right?
Well, before you answer that, I mean, the issue is if I'm Joe Public and I don't have a radio, I'm not going to hear what you're saying. So it's only going to be the people who are already attuned to what's going on. Or is that true?
That is correct. We have a saying: when all else fails, amateur radio or ham radio. A good example is the hurricane that we had up in the north of North Carolina. The people who went to the fire stations for help, and they went to the fire stations rather than to shelters. They went to the fire stations for help, and they couldn't find the help. Ham radio operators also went to the fire stations, and they were able to give communications from the people who were stuck up in the mountains to their families who were outside in the rest of the country through ham radio. The Viper system that they had up in North Carolina, the north of North Carolina in the mountains, worked. There's no question about it, but it was overloaded and they could not handle all the traffic. And we started to pick up a lot of the extra traffic and help out with telling people that, hey, I'm okay, I'm safe, I survived. And vice versa when families were trying to get messages into other people.
Well, what's the range of these radios?
Anything from 2 to 3 miles to 4 to 5,000, 17,000 miles.
Right.
It depends on what you're doing.
And you mentioned the fact that you're talking about being able to talk to people around the world, and if you talk about FM, frequency modulation, line of sight, you got to see it, but AM modulation is different, amplitude modulation is different, it can travel around the circumference. So are these AM powerful radios, or what's the frequency?
We work on various different bands. The most popular bands are what we call 40 meter and 20 meter. That's 7 megahertz and 14 megahertz. And on 20 meters, you can talk to Australia. You can talk to Japan. For some reason, we can't talk to Alaska very well, and Hawaii is very difficult to get a hold of, too.
Who have you talked with that really comes to mind? You say, oh, my gosh, I can't believe I'm talking to this person.
The one that really surprised me, and I was new in the hobby, was Cuba. I didn't even think they were allowed to have radios in Cuba.
Well, but did they? And Kenny says, "Wow." I mean, did you speak in Spanish or everybody speak in English? No, adios mío, se acabó. I mean, what do you say?
No. One of the great advantages of ham radio is that the default language is English.
Oh.
Well, that's not fair.
Oh, come on, man. Give them a break.
Well, but look, so you have to be able to get in, you have to be able to communicate. Again, we're running out of time because I see Antoine out there lurching in the lobby here.
Can I say just one
thing? Sure,
thing?
yeah, go ahead, Ken.
Once again, what you guys just conversed about proves, I don't mean prove my point. It makes me understand that, yes, I see them as first responders. The fact that they set up, they realized the fire stations weren't closed up in western North Carolina, that area, you know where we're talking about. And so they sat there, and the people that were coming to the fire stations were able to communicate with the loved ones that were most worried about them. I believe that's the way it was. Yes?
Nuts and bolts.
Well, that's true. And in actuality, right here in Fayetteville, we are working with the Cumberland County EOC, and we have just set up their ham radio equipment in the EOC, and we will be operating that for them.
Well, look, that's fantastic. I know Kenny's got another point.
Just one more quick thing.
Sure.
Because it circles around about what this show is all about, and that's the community and getting people to talk. Rod, will you share what just happened? Magically, you came in, brought us some donuts, not planning to be on the radio, and you met Kirk Deviere. Tell us about that.
Yes, we went to a meeting, and Kirk Deviere was there, and he recommended to us that we put in for what they call a micro grant. And I said, that sounds good, and we've just become a 501c3 organization. So I put in for the grant, and about a week and a half ago, I got notification that we had been awarded a $3,285 grant for 3 radio stations.
Well, that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
And it's all because you came to the radio station here, WFNC. You hear me tell it.
That'll work.
Well, look, Rod, it's a pleasure. I'm glad that we're able to get you in because your event is Saturday. One last time before we give you the boot, tell everybody where it is and what they need to do if they want to participate.
It's going to be at 1509 Zinnia Avenue, Zinnia Court. It's just off Old Wilmington Highway. It's pretty easy to get to. We will be doing all sorts of radio. We are going to have HF radio. We'll have VHF radio. And at some point, we are going to talk to a satellite and do a satellite repeater QSO, which is contact. We just did one on yesterday as practice.
I want to point something out because I went to Central State University in Wilberforce, Ohio, which was outside of Xenia, which is spelled Xenia. If you're going to put this in your GPS, it's spelled Zinnia, Xenia Court, not to be confused with Xenia, Ohio. So Zinnia Court, 2909 Xenia Court. That's where this is going to be. Ron, I'm glad we got you on the air, man.
Thank you very much indeed for having me. I really appreciate it, sir.
And more than important than that, Kenny appreciates the donuts.
And just to show you, I still remember some things. Rod, 73s to KQ4 FNO.
And a 73 to you and Gilbert both.
Boom.
And I say, out here. I'm a signal corps guy. Out. You can't say over and out. Because if you say over and out, over means I'm finished and I'm waiting for your response. Out means I'm finished and I don't expect you to respond. That's signal corps stuff, baby.
Absolutely.
Come on.
And never say repeat.
That's right. All right, you're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC. We've got Fayetteville's most dependable forecast with CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
Today will be partly cloudy with gusty afternoon thunderstorms and a high of 92. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 68, and Wednesday will be mostly sunny with a high of 90. Dangerous heat returns by the end of the week with even more spotty storms by the weekend. That is your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
Thank you, Rachel. Right now, 84 degrees across the board in Fayetteville, Hope Mills, and Spring Lake. You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC.